How about those Devils? How about those Devils?
How about those Devils? Well, welcome back, Devils fans. It is your host, Ace, here on Running with the Devils, where we are talking New Jersey Devils hockey all year long. Please hit that subscribe button, smash the like, share with a friend. Thank you very much. And the New Jersey Devils looking to build off of a beautiful victory over the Boston Bruins on Jacques Lemaire Ring of Honor night, head to Montreal to take on the Canadiens. And your New Jersey Devils, they didn't make it easy. They made us sweat it out. Your boy Ace nearly had a heart attack in that overtime, but your New Jersey Devils find a way to persevere and pull through, coming out with a beautiful 4-3 overtime victory, courtesy of Jack Hughes, off of an amazing play made by Timo Meier. I must ask, I must know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? Back-to-back wins feel so damn good for this New Jersey Devils club. As you all know, it has been a rough road. Had a little bit of a tough stretch. Devils looked to turn it around the other night at home on Jacques Ring of Honor night. Hockey royalty in the building. Scott Stevens, Scott Niedermayer, obviously Jacques Lemaire, the great Larry Robinson, Martin Brodeur. And the boys got it done at home, and they go to Montreal, and they followed up with another win. A beautiful one. Lots to get to, lots to talk about. Let's get to the game. First period, Jesper Bratt strong on the wall with the puck, splits two Canadiens defenders up high. Then he drives to the net, splits two more defenders down low, and gets off a beautiful backhand pass to Nico down low near the net. And Nico finishes it in tight on his backhand at 15:52. Nico's 24th of the season from Jesper Bratt and Stefan Nason, giving the New Jersey Devils a 1-0
He's pretty
lead.
and he lives in Jersey City. Number 13, Nico Hischier.
Nico Hischier, the captain, coming through, starting off the scoring for the New Jersey Devils. 1-0 lead, a little over 4 minutes into the game, and the Devils weren't done yet for the first period. Jesper Bratt again on the attack, gets the puck down low, uses his strength and body to shield the puck. He loses it temporarily behind the net, circles all the way around the net, back to the middle of the ice, and unleashes a beautiful backhand shot with the defender draped all over him this whole time. Defender draped all over him, comes full circle, backhands one through traffic into the back of the net. Jesper Bratt at 17:48 gives the Devils the 2-0 lead. His 16th of the season from Dougie Hamilton and Brendan Dillon.
Jesper Bratt, tit-a-tat, where my boy at?
Jesper Bratt, where my boy at, coming up big late in the second, and your New Jersey Devils would exit the first period with a 2-0 lead. Great first period. I was feeling super pumped after that period. Didn't start so great for the Devils. Another kind of slow start. We've seen that quite often from this team, where it takes them a little bit to kind of snap out of it and wake up. Canadians were taking it to them a little bit early, and the Devils respond with 2 goals later in the period. Devils getting 12 shots in that first period, Montreal with 6, and the Devils get the only 2 goals. We head to the second period. Jack has the puck on the wall, and I still can't tell with the replays if he purposely tried to drop it back or if he got stripped. But either way, Jack's on the wall with the puck in the D zone. He loses it. Caufield throws it across to Suzuki in the slot, and he one-time blasts it in right past Jake Allen. Suzuki's 15th of the season at .350, cuts the Devils' lead to 2-1. And at this point, I was a little bit deflated. I was like, oh, why can't we ever just play with a nice 2-3 goal lead for the duration of the game and coast to an easy victory? But that would be way too easy, my friends. This is New Jersey Devils hockey. This is the Cardiac Kids. And quite often we got to be in these battles and find a way to win. And tonight was no different. Second period continues. Tomas Tatar battling hard for loose pucks, knocks a guy down. The puck gets to Lazar. He passes it to Dougie at the point. Dougie shoots on the net. The rebound's sitting there, and Tatar crashes the crease like a man possessed, gets to the loose puck, and buries it. For his 5th of the season at 12:56, giving the Devils a 3-1 lead, assisted by Dougie Hamilton and Curtis Lazar. This was a fourth-line special, a beautiful grinder goal, and these are the types of goals we've been desperately missing for large chunks of the season, quite frankly. A lot of people have noticed, obviously, the bottom six has kind of been in a rut. The top six went through their own rut, and goal scoring has been in a premium. This team needs to find ways to score, and they get a beautiful, just hard-fought, greasy, gritty goal here, courtesy of Tomas Tatar with one of the hustle shifts of the year. He will be a nominee here for hustle shift of the year. Just fighting for pucks everywhere, knocks a dude down, puck's loose. Lazar gets the heads-up play to Dougie. Dougie shoots it on net. Tatar goes right back to the net, cashes it in. Devils with the 3-1 lead, and that goal got me excited. I'm not going to lie. That was a nice goal. We haven't seen too many of them. We need to get more. Still in the second period, later in the second period, a rare bad cross-ice pass by Nico Hischier. It goes right to Slavkovsky, and Slavkovsky passes it to Suzuki. Suzuki enters the zone with some speed. He drops it behind to Caufield, and Caufield makes a real nice move on Bratt, gets around him, gets to the middle of the ice, and just rips one past Allen. Caufield's 25th at 17:05, cutting the Devils' lead to 3-2, and at that point, I was like, oh boy. We regained the 2-goal lead, and now we're only up 1 again. Going into the third period, it just felt like one of those games with potential disaster written all over it. I was quite nervous, but I was still excited and fired up because we're in a close game. And again, obviously another game we desperately need to win. Got to bank all the points we can. Teams are coming on strong in the East, and the cushion they had built up kind of evaporated in the last few weeks. But we head to the third period. Devils with the 3-2 lead, and it didn't last too long. Canadiens win an O-zone draw. They get the puck and pass it to the point. Carrier blasts it through Allen at 3:34. Carrier's second of the season ties the game at 3. And at that point, all the wind came out of my sails. I was like completely deflated. I was super fired up for the start of the third. I'm like, let's close this one out, boys. We need this one, yelling at the TV, being a typical maniac. And the lead gets coughed up pretty quickly into the third. Devils kind of survive. The third period wasn't so pretty for the Devils. It seemed like they were just kind of fading a little bit at times, but still generating 13 shots in that third period. Montreal with 7, and shot totals down a little bit. That second period featured 16 shots from each team. Pretty entertaining second period, and the third was a little scary for the Devils. A little scary. I was definitely nervous for a lot of it after the game was tied, and I thought we could be in trouble. Devils had some chances. Canadiens had some chances. Nobody can win it in regulation. Rewinding back to the third. Early in the third period, Nico Hischier leaves the game with some sort of injury. It seems like it's nothing serious, but he leaves early in the third period, does not return in the locker room, and a massive, massive loss for the Devils for that entire third period. Obviously, Nico Hischier, one of our best players on the team overall, a great defensive forward, all situations guy, and then obviously the face-off prowess of Nico was sorely, sorely missed for the duration of that third period and the overtime. We'll get to that in a second, but Nico's hopefully okay. It seems like it's going to be a day-to-day type thing. Hopefully he's playing Monday night in Philly, but he shouldn't miss more than a couple games at most, I'm hoping. That's kind of what it seems like from the early reports. Nothing definitive has come out yet, but Sheldon Keefe said he thinks it's going to be a day-to-day type thing, and, knock on wood. Hopefully that's all it is. Obviously losing Markstrom in the game before when he gets crashed into by the Bruins player, I mean, it just sucks. We thought we were out of the woods from last season. Obviously everyone got hurt last year and missed tons of games, sort of derailed the season. Some other things happened beyond the team's control, and last year was just cursed. And this season, we only had some bottom 6 kind of injuries earlier on in the season, dodged the bullet on the big names. But now, in the past 2 games, our Vezina caliber goalie and Jacob Markstrom is out 4 to 6 weeks. And then Nico mysteriously disappears for the third period. But again, hopefully all's well with Markey. He heals up great. And hopefully Nico's only gone for a game or 2 at most. I'm hoping he misses no time. But Nico out for the third. We miss his faceoffs desperately. And we miss him in overtime. We head to the overtime. As you all know, Nico Hischier takes the opening draw and faceoff because that is a massive faceoff. Getting first possession in the overtime is everything. And Nico has been phenomenal at winning those faceoffs in the overtimes. He's done very well on the season. Without him going into OT, massive loss. We lose the opening faceoff. And for the first time in what seemed like a while, the Devils were playing defense for a good chunk of the beginning of the overtime. Again, off of that face-off loss, that just sets the tone, and now you're on your heels kind of playing defense. Luckily, Canadiens did not score on their first possession. Devils get a couple chances. Canadiens get a couple chances. And then later on in the overtime session, Timo Meier makes a beautiful play to grab a puck and just start charging up the ice. And I'm like, oh, baby, it's going to happen. We're going to get a 2-on-1 or a 2-on-0 kind of situation here. And Timo comes flying up the wall, and he just pokes it ahead to Jack Hughes and kind of uses his body as a screen to ensure that Jack's going to go in all alone. And Jack Hughes goes in all alone on the breakaway and finishes beautifully. At 4:06 of the overtime, Jack Hughes scores the overtime winner, his 19th of the season from Timo Meier, and that is all she wrote, my friends. Jack sends the boys to Philly with 2 massive points in the bank, and it was phenomenal. Phenomenal play by Timo, just to get the puck ahead to Jack. I mean, the whole play was just beautiful by Timo, and a great finish by Jack. So glad it did not go to a shootout. I would have probably had a heart attack. I was having palpitations in the overtime and just ecstatic to see the boys pull off the victory. And it was a beautiful one. It was a beautiful one. And now your New Jersey Devils have won back-to-back games and for the first time in what seems like forever. Wasn't the prettiest win, but it was a beautiful win nonetheless. Any way you could get 2 points, especially in a huge road game like this against a Montreal team that's right there in the wild card picture and has been pretty damn good as of late. Massive road win. Absolutely massive road win. We go to the game stats. Devils with 44 shots on goal. Love to see it. Chuck Rubber at the net. 44 shots for the Devils, 32 for the Canadiens. Devils 52.6% on the faceoffs. Canadiens 47.4%. Devils 0 for 1 on the power play. Canadiens 0 for 1 on the power play as well. Devils with 17 hits. Would love to see more there. 17 hits for the Devils, 20 hits for the Canadiens. Devils with 22 block shots. Canadiens with 32 block shots. Devils 12 giveaways. Canadiens 12 giveaways. Devils with 3 takeaways, and the Canadiens with 3 takeaways. And there it was. A beautiful win for the New Jersey Devils. They now have won back-to-back games, and they will be looking to win 3 in a row in Philadelphia on Monday night. Jake Allen thought he played a pretty solid game. Not the best game, but he was solid. I think really the only goal he would probably say he wants back, I mean, obviously he wants them all back, but the 2 blasts were I mean, what are you going to do on those? But I do think the Caufield goal was stoppable, but it was a great play by Caufield. I mean, he just comes in, he puts the move on Bratt, and he gets to the middle of the ice, gets in that slot there, and just rips one quick. I mean, that's a tough play. He was flying with speed, but I think that one was stoppable. But all in all, 29 saves on 32 shots. Solid game for Allen. And like I've been saying since Markstrom got hurt, if the Devils show up, the team as a whole, if they show up and play the game the way they should, we don't need Allen to steal games. He just needs to be a competent NHL goaltender, which I believe he is. And on some nights, he's played out of his mind. But as long as he is a average NHL goalie, if the true New Jersey Devils, at least what I believe to be the true New Jersey Devils, the one that we saw against the Bruins, I would say, and the team that we saw for parts of this game tonight, if that team shows up, as long as we have a decent goalie in net, we have a chance to win every single night. Jake Allen is going to give you that and more, and I have high hopes for this little stretch for him while Markey's out. I think he is going to carry the torch nicely, and he is going to keep this team in games and accumulate some wins and points along the way. Off to a great start, got the win against Boston at home, came to Montreal, got the win there, and Jake Allen, baby. Serviceable job by Jake Allen. Some other kind of random thoughts on the game. They did show the replays. Nico was getting pretty viciously cross-checked, and you guys know how I am with that sort of stuff. Growing up watching the Dynasty Devils, if you did stuff like that to guys like Nico or even ran the goalie, in the case of the other night, there was hell to pay. We had tons of bruisers and guys that would not allow that behavior to go on, and they would drop the gloves and rock you. That's it. We haven't really answered in that type of way in quite some time, and I do think, Sheldon Keefe maybe ordered them to tone it down. The Devils did have a bad streak of kind of fight-related penalties where we were getting extra minors and stuff, and I think it scarred them as a result. I would love to see the team respond a little bit more. I'm not saying every game there's got to be tons of fights, this and that, but situationally speaking, I think there was some times in the game tonight as well as a bunch of previous games where some fisticuffs were well-deserved. Well-deserved fisticuffs, and our captain just getting crushed out there on a nightly basis. Nico's tough as nails. He takes a licking and keeps on ticking. I mean, you saw when Tkachuk smashed him in the Florida game and he went nuts and Siegenthaler got in there. But Nico is obviously targeted by a lot of teams, and he takes a beating throughout the season. I would like to see him a little more protected. We have some tough guys in the lineup, and so I know that they're ready and willing to handle those responsibilities. And I think Sheldon Keefe kind of has to let the dogs off the leash a little bit and just say, you know what? Next time someone takes a liberty, do what you got to do, and we will live with the result. But, you know, it is discouraging to see Nico cross-checked like that. Hopefully he's back in the next game. I'm hoping he misses no time. That would be great. But what a game. What an absolutely beautiful game for the Devils. Wow. Back-to-back, guys. For the first time in forever. I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think stuff like this could really be jinxed. I will mention, as many of you know, the last time the New Jersey Devils won 4 games in a row was in mid-2023. I believe it was January 14th. So we are over 2 full calendar years removed from the last time the Devils were able to win 4 in a row. And they've had a ton of chances. You know, they've won 3 in a row a ton of times between then and now, including, I think we've won 3 in a row maybe 4 times this year and always fell in the 4th game. I would love to see it. You know, I would love to see this team get over that kind of blockade that we've had, win 4 in a row, and it would be led by Jake Allen. Who would have had that on their bingo card? A very unlikely result. But Jake had a good game. The boys hung in there. Massive, massive win. Cannot be understated. It is one of my favorite wins of the season just because it is a monster game. And I know a lot of you poke fun at me. You're like, oh, you say every game's the game of the season. I don't say that about every game. But as the season goes on, almost every game becomes the game of the season. I don't think we're quite there yet, but this is a huge game given that the Canadiens are right in the mix, looking to gain ground on everyone above them, including the Devils. Devils looking to build off that big win against the Bruins with all the legends in the building and still trying to recover from that slide that we had. Massive game. First one without Markey. You know, the full game without Markey. Obviously, he left the Bruins game, but this is the first full game going into it without Markey. And there was a lot of things going on, a lot of adversity to have to overcome. And they found a way. They blew 2 separate 2-goal leads. They were up 2-0, and they were also up 3-1. Blew 2 different 2-goal leads and still found a way to win despite kind of getting the play taken to them. The Canadiens were taking it to them for stretches of that third and the overtime. They bent. They did not break. Get to the overtime session. Wait for their chance. And Jack makes good on it. Beautiful breakaway by Jack. But let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments. Let me know what you think about anything I said in this video in the comments. Anything, everything New Jersey Devils hockey, just throw it out there in the comments. I enjoy talking to all of you. And what a game. I am so fired up. Shout out to all of you that came to the post-game live where we celebrated this monumental night. If you're not familiar, I do a post-game or a post-game show. After every game, as soon as the MSG broadcast goes off the air, I jump on. I talk about the game. I pull up everyone's comments. We all talk, you know. Cheers. We do a little toast. And it's a pretty good time. So if you haven't checked one of those out, maybe it's worth checking out if that's something you might be interested in. I'll put the link in the description of this video for the post-game live show that already occurred if you want to check it out. Link in the description. If you're newer to the channel, poke around. There's some cool stuff on there from the past couple weeks, especially if you're an older fan and you have any interest in the Jacques Lemaire Ring of Honor night type coverage. I did a vlog from the game. I was able to attend a VIP dinner the night before the induction that had all the legends there. I was able to talk to some of them. I have some cool footage from that in a separate video. So poke around on the channel if you're newer. There's definitely some interesting stuff for you. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. I'll be back soon. Tons of stuff in the works, as always. As always, working on special projects, on projects. But I'll be back soon. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Until next time, friends, let's go.